Star Trek runs the gamut of the emotional spectrum. You've got tear-jerking reunions, laugh-out-loud comedy beats, sometimes intentional, sometimes not, and heart-pounding cliffhangers.
Fire.
But when Trek gets dark, you get straight-up watch-through-your-fingers scenes that could creep out even the most stoic Vulcan. Here's just 5 of our favorite horror moments from Star Trek, ranked from sleeping with the light on to never sleeping again.
Impulse.
NX-01 crew comes upon a ship filled with Vulcans that have been exposed to a neurotoxin that basically turns them into feral zombies. The one race you can count on to be pragmatic and reasonable is now immune to negotiation and trying to eat your face. Given their strength and speed alone, one zombie Vulcan would be intimidating enough. But now you got a shipload of angry Vulcans, I said ship, that look like they just walked off the set of a Thriller video. It's got that classic, my god, they just keep coming zombie vibe, with the additional threat of T'Pol starting to turn. We rank this one as Ensign. It's the kind of horror that has a delightful level of dread with a hint of nostalgia.
Conspiracy.
Towards the end of the first season of The Next Generation, the episode Conspiracy finds Picard dealing with, well, a conspiracy. He finds the upper echelons of Starfleet Command acting strangely, and he soon discovers that an alien parasite is taking over the bodies of high-ranking Starfleet officers for vaguely evil alien reasons. This gives us the double whammy of horror tropes, the classic paranoia of not knowing who is who and who to trust, and the more tangible body horror of a creepy little insect going into your mouth. Now, it should be noted, this is season 1 of TNG, so the effects are pretty standard for the 80s, from Riker beating up an old admiral to the not terribly convincing parasites themselves. But the episode does end with a surprisingly gory scene where Picard literally blows up a dude's head and chest cavity, revealing the main parasite. Holy God. We rank this creepy crawling moment as Lieutenant, mostly because it doesn't quite live up to the later TNG polish.
Genesis.
In the season 7 episode of TNG Genesis, Picard and Data take a shuttle to deal with a proton torpedo that veered off course during an exercise. It's pretty standard Trek fare with nothing inherently horrific here, until they return to the Enterprise, which has basically turned into a haunted house. Deserted hallways, suspect lighting, creepy sounds, and if that wasn't enough, the episode cranks up to weird factor 9 once Picard and Data start encountering de-evolved members of the crew. Each member revealed gives us escalating levels of nope. We start out with an amphibious Troy and caveman Riker, then completely go off the sanity rails with a Barclay Spider hybrid jump scare. But the de-evolved Worf takes the creepy cake. He's a spiky, rage-filled, venom-spitting monster stalking our non-afflicted through the ship. These images are hard to forget, and that's why we rank this one as Commander. It's off-putting and unnerving in all the best ways.
All those who wonder.
In Star Trek lore, the Gorn are a powerful, formidable race that Starfleet considers a real threat. Of course, when most people think of the Gorn, they can't help but think of Kirk in the TOS episode Arena. Yeah, not exactly the most intimidating way to represent a supposed galactic threat. However, a Strange New Worlds episode gave the Gorn the redemption arc they so desperately needed. In the episode All Those Who Wander, Captain Pike and his away team find themselves in a scenario straight out of the movie Alien, right down to the chest-bursting and the newt-coated little girl survivor. Turns out, Gorn hatchlings gestate in living hosts. Fun. At this point, the episode basically turns into a monster movie, as the crew must deal with Gorn hatchlings as well as their own infected crew. No lumbering rubber suit here. These Gorn are fast and vicious, with multiple mangled bodies in their path to prove it. For the combination of being some of the darkest, both literally and figuratively, scenes in all of Trek history, and for glowing up one of Trek's most mocked villains, we hereby award the rank of Captain.
Pretty much anything with the Borg.
There is nothing else that can top this list beside the Borg. Why, you ask? Because basically they embody all the types of horror that we've already discussed. Death, disfigurement, mind control, gore, unstoppable villains. We could pick just about any scene of these fear merchants and call it a day. But the piece de resistance is futile. Picard's nightmare in First Contact. We see Picard's assimilation test the boundaries of that PG-13 rating as a drill goes through his friggin' eyeball and then Borg tech bursts out his cheek. Sure, it's a nightmare, but come on. Now, sure, there are plenty of other Borg moments we could have chosen. They are basically a horror factory. But what makes this one special is not only the added flair of big budget movie effects, but the fact that this is how the movie opens. We barely made it out of the credits and we're shoving metal instruments into Picard's eyes? That boldness alone makes for many a nightmare-riddled night and makes it easy to give this one the rank of Admiral. There are plenty of Trek scenes where they find themselves short of deuterium or dilithium crystals, but one fuel they're never quite short of is nightmare fuel. Did we miss one of your favorite spooky scenes? Let us know in the comments. Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, we'll keep the light on for you.